Have you ever noticed how becoming a better person somehow became another competition? Read more books, wake up earlier, meditate, exercise, journal, build better habits, fix your mindset. Somewhere along the way, self-improvement stopped feeling like growth and started feeling like another impossible checklist. You finish one goal and immediately feel guilty for not working on the next one. So here's a different question. What if becoming a better person isn't about doing more, but about becoming more intentional with the choices you already make? Because character isn't built during life-changing moments, it's built during ordinary ones. Most people think becoming a better person means becoming someone completely different, but psychology suggests something much simpler. Real change usually happens through small, repeated behaviors that slowly reshape the way we think, react, and relate to other people. Not overnight, little by little. And maybe the first change isn't changing your habits. Maybe it's changing the way you see yourself, because perfection is a terrible place to begin. If your goal is to never make mistakes or always know the right thing to say, every mistake starts feeling like proof that you've failed. But growth doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for honesty. Can you notice one thing you handled a little better today than you would have a year ago? Maybe you paused before reacting. Maybe you admitted you were wrong. Maybe you were kinder to yourself after making a mistake. Those moments matter more than they seem. Another habit that quietly changes who you become is curiosity. Our brains naturally fill in missing information. Someone ignores your message. They don't care. Someone cuts you off in traffic. They're selfish. But quick conclusions aren't always accurate. Curiosity interrupts that process. Instead of asking, what's wrong with them, try asking, what else could explain this? Maybe they're overwhelmed. Maybe they're distracted. Maybe they're carrying something you'll never see. That doesn't excuse harmful behavior, but it reminds you that every person is living a story you only know a tiny part of. And when curiosity grows, judgment usually becomes quieter. The same thing happens in conversations. Most people don't really listen. They're just waiting for their turn to speak. But listening isn't just hearing words. It's making another person feel understood. Sometimes people don't need advice. They just need someone who stays long enough to understand how they feel. That single habit can transform friendships, relationships, and even disagreements. Another part of becoming a better person is learning what accountability really looks like. A sincere apology isn't about ending an argument, it's about repairing trust. Sometimes the strongest sentence you can say is simply, I understand why that hurt you. No excuses, no conditions, just responsibility. And one of the biggest signs of emotional maturity is becoming comfortable with being wrong. Every time you're willing to say, I never thought about it that way, your world becomes a little bigger. Growth doesn't happen because we already know everything. It happens because we're willing to learn something new. There's one more habit that rarely gets attention: doing the right thing when nobody will ever know, helping someone without expecting recognition, returning something that isn't yours, cleaning up after yourself. These moments don't usually get noticed, but they quietly shape your identity, because every private decision becomes part of the person you're becoming. And maybe that's the biggest misunderstanding about self-improvement. It's easy to chase a better image, a better routine, a better version of yourself that other people can see. It's much harder and much more meaningful to quietly become someone you respect when nobody is watching. You'll still have impatient days, you'll still misunderstand people, you'll still make mistakes. Being a better person doesn't mean those moments disappear. It means they stop being the end of the story. You notice them, you learn from them, and next time you respond a little differently. That's how change usually happens, not through one dramatic transformation, but through hundreds of ordinary choices that slowly become part of who you are. So maybe don't ask yourself, how can I become a perfect person? Ask yourself, what's one small choice I can make today that the person I want to become would be proud of? Because character isn't something you finally achieve, it's something you quietly practice. Every conversation, every decision, every ordinary day. And maybe That's enough. Not becoming perfect tomorrow, just becoming a little more thoughtful than you were yesterday. Because sometimes the smallest choices create the biggest changes.